This is Mountain Man coming to you from Port Snow. How is everyone tonight? I am once again trimulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle and Kick. So we'll see if I get 2 viewers this time or 3. I don't know what I'm doing on site, but I know my videos won't get erased as long as I don't get too overboard. But anyway, same thing with Bumble, and I want to say hi to everybody on all platforms. Thank you for joining me tonight. How do you like my thumbnail? We haven't forgotten about that place just right off our shores that's gotten ready. And Eric Swalwell, I wonder if Fang's going to be able to send him some wonton soup or chicken dumplings or whatever they make over there in China. But anyway, folks, what do? I play some videos to give people time to get a cup of coffee, a cold brew, or an adult beverage, or maybe some chamomile tea. So anyway, I'll do that. Play some videos you can enjoy, and then we'll do what? We'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Not us judging, folks.
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, if we finally beat Medicare.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of, you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me. I had to work to get my mic to cut on. I don't know what's going on, but thank you all for stopping by to see me tonight. Like I said at the beginning, how do you like my thumbnail? I was going to put something up there like, we haven't forgotten, and neither has Mr. T. And I tell you what, this situation with Swalwell is bigger than the average person knows. Remember who he used to walk hand in hand with? Adam Shifty Schiff. And there was somebody, I used to get in trouble by saying the word whistle and then blower, right? I still break the word up. I can't say it all at once. I put in WhistleLiar. The WhistleLiar. I could have put a question mark because that's allegedly. I don't know. But anyway, Adam Schiff and Swalwell were big buddies in Congress before Adam Schiff got promoted to Senate. And it doesn't look like he's going to get promoted anymore. He's resigned. He's resigned. I tell you, and there's so many of them under fire. I had this in the other day. I didn't get a chance to put it up. Just a reminder, they're all under fire, okay? The Punisher is on his way, and he's wreaking havoc right now. Tim Walsh faces impeachment in his own state. Oh, but they got a FF, right? A false, another word I can't use without worrying about getting taken down. Why is that? Why is that? Because that's, you're describing reality, and you can't have that. You can't have that. The algorithm discourages reality. And I don't even think people that handle videos even or review videos really even know that. But they've got an operation going in Minnesota. We're going to talk about that. They want to arrest ICE agents, but is that something to distract? Look over here. Look over here. Don't look at Tim Walsh facing impeachment in his own state. Minnesota Republicans are teeing up impeachment shots at Governor Tim Walsh and attorney Keith Ellison. Remember him? Oh, there's so many on the plate. Letitia James. Trump talked about her today. James Comey and many others, that are looking at substantial penalties for their behavior. So that's why I said, well, let me put up a little Gitmo reminder. So anyway, Tim Walsh, what kind of false flag is he going to pull? And we'll talk about that. Is that going to be the event if they indict and arrest ICE agents for doing their job? Is that going to be the culmination of their lawfare, which is just a form of criminality with a fig leaf over it? But anyway, let's see. Let me see. I forgot to say who come to see me tonight. Let me see who else here. Darla's here. I saw her name while I was scrolling. Nice to see you. Wow, way up here. Let's see. Sissy's here. Todd's here. Sherry is here. Wayne, nice to see you. Miss Mindersue. Robin. Elva. Cole. Nice to see you. Let's see. Randy's here. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody, and if I do, it's not on purpose. We get that straight right at the beginning. Hi, Kim. Let's see. I might say your names a couple of times. Let's see. Sherry's here saying hi to everybody. All right. I won't say in the house 1,000 times. Boy, that usually get on my nerves. You're here. So, anyway. And my lurkers, I have to say hi to my lurkers and all the folks on Rumble and whoever that soul is. That's probably me registered as being a viewer on Kick. Just me. Hi, Melinda. How are you? Tammy's here. Where's Gary? I haven't seen him. Yeah. Usually when there's some kind of oil business going on, I don't know. We let him tell it. He's not here to say. So he shall appear. Let's all hope. Keep our fingers crossed for our friends. Hi, Mac. How are you? Let's see. Who? Dr. Trump. California. Nick, getting on Nick Shirley. We'll talk about that too. Is that something that's, can they use the legislature for criminal purposes? Can the legislature vote to obstruct justice? Flannel cheese, how are you? Oh, I'm sure they have in the past, but are they going to get away with it now? I don't think so. So anyway, let me get my booms ready because I want to thank everybody who went to buy me a coffee. Wayne's the last one who went by there. Where's my booms? And I do appreciate it so much. Along with the younger gang and Colette and Mike and Bev. Did my pal go off? Boom! There we go. I'll put a link in the chats in a little bit if anybody wants to help channel out. Bill, nice to see you. All right. So, Swalwell, Iran is paralyzed. I got some notices that were put up on different sites with Russian media and there's going to be a war. Oh, the world's coming to an end. We got the situation with Pope Leo, which I didn't comment on. I want to see how that would gel out, but I'll talk about it tonight. And a lot of stuff going on. It is all part of what we generally refer to as a Great Awakening. And Trump mentioned a name, or a name was mentioned in a little impromptu presser he had outside the Oval Office. And that was a name that would get me in trouble. It would get taken down, but apparently it's declassified now. We shall see. We'll listen to it and we shall see. So, anyway, is this Anna Polina Luna? Let me see. Oh, no, this is another repudiation of Eric Swalwell. Ruben Gallego.
I support the Ethics Committee investigation and believe Eric Swalwell is no longer fit to be a member of Congress. He should be expelled from Congress. I want to be clear. I had no knowledge of the allegations of assault, harassment, and predatory behavior against Eric Swalwell.
Oh, you didn't? Well, another one resigned, and they say it's going to be 4, I believe, more. But anyway,
I trusted someone who I believe was a friend, but it's now clear he is not the person I thought I knew. The woman who have come forward has shown courage, and they deserve to be believed, to be supported, and to see justice served.
Well, aren't you a nice guy? But Anna Polina Luna put up, this right here. I'm being told there will be more disgusting stuff coming out on Swalwell in the next 24 hours. For the members of Congress who are concerned about optics on expelling Swalwell, I think after the information drops, you'll be thinking otherwise. Eric, why don't you tell us a little about who was filming the video of the female S3X worker? That's that short clip I played for you all yesterday. You know, that was flagged, them being frisky or whatever in the boudoir. Somebody was filming it. And let's see how long he stays married, but let's see how long he stays out of jail. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? Melinda's here. Nice to see you. Bill's here. Nice to see you also. So, we got a rocket going off. Tammy set off a rocket. Miss Bender Sue put in some booms. Okay. All right. So, who was holding the camera? Swalwell? So this is when they were thinking, well, should we get rid of them or what should we do? How can we wiggle out of this one? This ain't like the days when Heidi Fleiss was trafficking little girls or, teenagers. The internet now is spreading this stuff all over the place. So the long knives were out, okay? His own people were going after him. So what did he do? Here's what he did. He put this comment out. A mealy-mouthed bunch of hooey, but I'll read it anyway. I am deeply sorry to my family, staff, and constituents for mistakes in judgment I've made in the past. My past. I will fight the serious false allegations made against me. However, I must take responsibility and ownership for the mistakes I did make. Well, won't you clear the air, Eric? I'm aware of efforts to bring immediate expulsion vote against me and other members, expelling anyone in Congress without due process within days of an allegation being made is wrong. Well, they really should have done an investigation about Fang Fang, okay? And I am not going to believe that he wasn't called in for a debriefing after that. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were members of the military there and the FBI, the clean side of the FBI. And you know what it is if you lie to the FBI. That's what they tried to hang General Flynn with. But anyway, but it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties, your duties. Therefore, I plan to resign my seat in Congress. Well, hurry up. I will work with my staff in the coming day. Well, they all say you're a puke. They all don't like you, apparently. They said 50 of them came forward. How many staff members does some greaseball like this get? Probably once he's fired and everything else. But anyway, in the coming days, to ensure they are able, in my absence, to serve the needs of the good people of the 14th Congressional District. All of them, even the illegal aliens that voted for you with their phony driver's licenses. So, yeah, you're out of here, Eric. Hurry up and just leave. And then, who put this up? Wait a minute. Lee Zeldin. Oh, yeah, he was commenting on when they tried to frame Trump. We'll get into that in a minute. But here's the way it first blasted out. I saw this like 3 minutes after it got put up. Eric Swalwell announces resignation from Congress. Newsmax was the first one I saw. But we all know Politico, CNN, all them, day before last, had their knives out. We knew he was done. And he made his mind up by the Monday, right? So, who's the other four? One of them, I think it's going to be way more than four. Way more than four. And Fang Fang, are they going to be able to call her back somehow to testify against him? Let me see. Here's another picture of Swalwell's face. Oh, Donald Trump posted it. Donald Trump posted a picture of him. Swalwell suspends his campaign for governor amid furor over sex assault allegations. And, of course, now we find out he's done more than suspend his race for governor. He's finished. He's finished. He's got to contend with his personal freedom, long-term freedom. Here's what somebody put up right here. Cleaning up the swamp. I think it's Diamond Silk Gap put this up. Who is facing expulsion? Ethics probes and public sentiments. Well, Swalwell, I have to do like I had that CNN thing with X's over their faces. that all got corrupted. Where I had like 6 or 8 faces, and they one by one they get an X over their face when they got kicked out of there. Don Lemon, Jim Acosta, what's his face, the potato, Fatty. But anyway, Eric Swalwell, Corey Mills, Florida Republican, Tony Gonzalez, Republican of Texas, Sheila Shiflius McCormick, Democrat. Isn't that funny? They split right down the middle with which party is which. There's more that are going to get it. I'm convinced of that. The great swamp cleaning. 4 lawmakers face potential expulsion. The House is at a breaking point. So anyway, we know that what's his name on the list there? It's sad about his staffer. He had the affair with the staffer. This is him right here. He announced, along with Swalwell, he's one of the 4 I just showed you. Tony Gonzalez says he's stepping down from Congress. Well, when's it going to be? Hurry up about it. But he's the one where allegedly his staffer set herself ablaze. Hi, Lori. How you doing? Bush, how you doing? Now, that does not make sense, but we're in a world that hadn't been making much sense. And when you have a $1 trillion multimedia industry captured by people that want to alter your mind's eye through their prism, of course, which we've talked about in the past, and we'll talk about more in the future. But anyway, so he's out of here. He's out of here, and we'll see who's coming next. So anyway, let me see if I got more stuff on. Here he is. Here he is. Here's Eric. Here's Eric. And there, what's this? Oh, I hate that. It's his family. Is that his? Yeah. I'd rather not put that picture up, but there it is. Exclusive. Eric Swalwell paid illegal Brazilian. How much is a Brazilian live-in nanny under the table with campaign funds? Huh. How old was she? Was she trafficked mostly for you to engage in activities with her? Were there others? How old were they? But anyway, there's a campaign violation. They wanted to destroy Trump. They wanted to convict him of felonies because his bookkeeper put a sum of money on a ledger in the wrong place. Well, he put cash, green money, as Donald Trump says, not a mistake on a ledger. He took cash and gave it to somebody that shouldn't even be in this country. And we'll have to see, were they a victim of human trafficking? He's been accused of violating immigration and employment laws to keep his illegal in Brazilian nanny in the country. Whatever that says, according to a pair of recently filed complaints. So, that's not his wife. Now I know how much a Brazilian is. But there's his kids. I don't want to put his kids in there. But there's his wife, and I guess she's there, none the wiser of what her creepy husband is doing. AOC's on ketamine. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't surprise me with them bugged out eyes. Hi, Larry. How you doing? What do they call them? Shark eyes? Such a shame. Such a shame. But anyway, so let's see what we're going to talk about now. Eric Swalwell. He's got something to say, and we need to listen to him.
Is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard.
Wait a minute. That was a coffee cup. That was a coffee cup getting drug across the table. You all heard it. It was a coffee cup. So anyway, bye-bye, Eric Swalwell. Speaking of Erics, we've got another Eric that was exposed. MS Motorsports, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, that was a motorcycle backfiring, I think it was. Something like that. Oh, gosh, I got to show you all this. Speaking of a world gone mad. Lizzie TikTok put this up. This monster strangled his 11-month-old baby. How about we don't release him? We also don't keep housing him, and we don't pay for his S3X change surgeries. Solution. Swift ultimate penalty, right? But this transgender baby red rummer freed from prison 30 years early. Free. This person is walking the streets. Amid speculation, Indiana state officials did not want to pay for cosmetic surgeries this person demanded. That's how twisted our system has become. This person should be old news. Should not be an issue anymore, a concern, except for teaching people how to spot mentally ill individuals. Mentally ill individuals. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Just see what's going on. If I miss anybody. Dr. Trump, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. So anyway, I'm going to play this this little presser that Donald Trump had outside the Oval Office. And he had a lady with him that was there to thank him for the no tax on tips. And but he was asked a number of questions about Iran, but he was also asked about this biased whistleblower that I called a WhistleLiar. But anyway, I'll go ahead and play it, see how much you catch.
Not going to happen.
And Mr. President, on Iran, if the deal is not reached by the end of the ceasefire, does your threat from before still stand?
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that, but it won't be pleasant for them. Let me put it that way.
Do you still plan to charge your toll to use restraining order?
Has your timetable changed in any way in terms of ending this conflict?
No, it's going on. Just right now, there's no fighting. Right now, we have a blockade. They're doing no business. I didn't like seeing boats come out if they were doing business with Iran, but if they weren't, no boats came out. So now Iran is doing absolutely no business, and we're going to keep it that way very easily. Don't forget, their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. That's a lot.
Do you still want to charge them?
Coming from predominantly going to China, Mr. President, has Xi Jinping reached out? I know you're going to be...
No, but we have a very good relationship with China. He would like to see this ended also. He certainly wants it ended. Everyone, I want to see it ended too, but we can't give a nuclear weapon to a group of people that have caused nothing but havoc for 47 years. Look, I'm the president that's done something about it. This should have been, and many other presidents regret that they didn't. Yeah, so I'm doing something about it.
Ukraine impeachment documents that were just declassified show that Eric Charanella not only submitted false information, but that he had no direct knowledge of the alleged conversation. It was all hearsay. Do you feel vindicated by those?
Yeah, I do. They're a bunch of crooked people. You're talking about with respect to all of the things that they put against me? Yeah. Well, it's come out that in so many different ways. Thank you very much for that question. I appreciate it. But in so many different...
Apparently, the name has been declassified. I put the translation there so you could read it when I uploaded this video. Eric, and then the other half of his name is Charamella. She said it. She said it in front of the president at the Oval Office. So now I can say it. And I'll show you some pictures of that. But this is disclosing that the whistleblower scam and the impeachment scam was all a frame job and a setup. And now he's going to talk about the people involved because it was a grand conspiracy. We're going to have a grand prosecution for the grand conspiracy.
In ways, the election was rigged. The 2020 election was rigged. We found that out. What you just said is just a piece of that. It's a big piece, but minor, relatively speaking, compared to what they did. They cheated in the election. They cheated on the vote. And they cheated in every way possible. And it's the only way we got an incompetent man to be a president. And he was an incompetent man. Many of the things that we're talking about, even including this would have been settled a long time ago, not now. And it should have been settled by other presidents. But the election was a rigged election. We can't let that happen to our country.
It's concealment of exculpatory information. What should happen?
Well, it's a very serious charge against them and the Democrats. They cheat. They can't get elected with their policy. So their policy is no good. They want to have, open borders. They want to have men playing in women's sports. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't? I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about no tax on tips.
Yeah. Okay.
She kind of dropped the ball on that, but you never know. She might have people back home that, you know how it is, people, you have friends and relatives that still don't understand the birds and the bees and the difference between men and women, so I'm not going to hold it against her. But she is thanking Donald Trump for the no tax on tips. But anyway, did you pick up what he was saying? That there are people that are going to get in trouble for obstruction of justice, concealing evidence, and other things. But anyway, we'll keep it going.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is it your understanding that during this period of time, while the U.S. has instituted this naval blockade, that oil companies will be able to send their oil tankers through the strait, get more oil out from this area?
Yeah, I think they're going to be doing very well there, and I think they're doing very well here. You know, a lot of tankers are coming up here. They're coming in empty and out full. And we have a great capacity to take care of that business.
Ma'am, may we know your name, please? Have you delivered to the White House before?
I have not. My name is Sharon Simmons.
And are the White House good tippers? Do you know?
Wait.
Potentially. Yes, very.
Mr. President, can I ask you something
That's
about
good.
Cuba?
Thank you. You reminded me.
Mr. President, one on Cuba, sir. You previously said that you had no problem with countries sending fuel.
He just handed her $100 bill. How's that for a tip, lady? She said she saved $11,000 because of the no tax on tips, and her husband was sick, and it helped their family out a lot.
Promising to tariff them. What happened? What changed?
Well, we're going to see with Cuba. Cuba's another story. Cuba's been a terribly run country for a long time. It's got a bad system. It's been very oppressive, as you know. And we have a lot of great Cuban Americans, all of whom just about voted for me. And they were treated very badly. In many cases, family members have been killed. They've been beaten up and mugged, and terrible things happen in Cuba. And Cuba's a failing nation. And we're going to do this, and we may stop by Cuba after we're finished with this. But Cuba is a nation that was just been horribly run for many years by Castro.
You said based on housing regulator Bill Pulte, regarding those two recent referrals for Letitia James for insurance fraud, do you know if federal prosecutors have evidence to charge?
Well, I don't know. I know she's a very corrupt person. And you're talking about the so-called Attorney General of New York. She's a very corrupt person. That's been proven now. And I know I have nothing to do with it, but they're looking at things all over the place, more than one state, concerning her and concerning people like Comey, who's a dirty cop. Comey's a dirty cop, and dirty cops are bad. Nobody likes the police more than me, the law enforcement more than me, but Comey's a totally dirty cop, and we're not gonna stand for it. Yeah.
The UFC fight that's happening at the White House this summer, UFC typically numbers those fights consecutively, but should they label this one UFC 1776?
That's a good idea.
All right, that's where I got it off at. Yeah, you might do the UFC fight as UFC 1776. But anyway, dirty cop. And, Comey isn't the only dirty cop. He's going to get all the dirty cops. By the way, if y'all give me a thumbs up, I appreciate it. It helps our videos to get around. But anyway, he mentioned the name of the person we have been forbidden to say. And also that this is being referred for, the whole situation is being referred for criminal prosecution. How many people are involved? Here is Lee Zeldin. Put this up. Just like the Russia collusion hoax, the clown show sham impeachment of President Trump in 2019 was a BS. That's spelled B-E-E-E-S. That's how I put it in YouTube. Show trial of an epic proportion to try to take out the duly elected President of the United States. And there is Tulsi Gabbard. I went over this last week about Tulsi Gabbard. I played the press conference with, what's her name? The cutie who does the, Chris Ray's dirty. But anyway, I played the press conference where she laid out everything. So it would be on my video, and that's why I put it on Rumble. That's why I put it on Kick, so it won't get taken down. It'll be somewhere. So anyway, newly classified records expose how deep state actors within the intelligence community, so-called, concocted a false narrative that Congress used to usurp the will of the American people, overthrow the government, in other words, and impeach the duly elected president, Donald Trump. In 2019, I got a better shot of this. If you want to put it on your Meta page, this is what Tulsi Gabbard put up, a chart with Nancy Pelosi, newly classified documents expose deep state conspiracy to manufacture 2019 impeachment scam. We've been scammed. So, yeah, they're get a better chance of getting a screenshot of that. Let me see. Let me blow that up some. Here we go. The whistleblower process. The intelligence community inspector general's so-called investigation relied on only secondhand evidence and a self-declared Democrat whistleblower who lied about speaking with Democrats in Congress. That's why I called him a WhistleLiar. How many times I've shown you all this picture, folks? And I would get in trouble if I put the one that had a red circle around the WhistleLiar. But who do you see there? You see on MSNBC News, you see Jen Psaki, you see Valerie Jarrett, you see Susan Rice. Here's another picture of her. Right here, Susan Rice. You all know that one? That's where we got that classified memo. They're going to do it all by the book. She's sitting next to Obama. Dun-it, dun-it. Dude, look like a lady. Dun-it, dun-it. Huh? We also seen the picture of her with a mustache sitting next to Barack Hussein Obama. But this is the attitude, what you see on their faces, that Trump had to deal with upon coming into the White House, because they don't just clean out the whole White House staff. That's how they say, I am a senior staff member at the White House, and I want to anonymously tell you something. I'm a senior staff member in Trump's White House. That's how they get that title. They're holdovers. You can't clean them all out when you first come in, especially if you've never held public office before and you ascend to the office of the presidency. They stay there and they work against you and they plot and they scheme. Right? Look at the looks on their faces. How would you like to try to run the country with this pack of subversives against you? And Jen Psaki has signed a big deal with, is it MSNBC she's with? I got a story on her real quick too. Jen Psaki, where are you at? Psaki potatoes. She's a full blown commie rat. Where are you at, Jen Psaki? But here she is. Here she is. Looking a little rough, too. Looking a little stressed out. Look at that. That's Jen Psaki. Making millions of dollars. Pumping forth deep state narrative. Jen Psaki embroiled in new controversy after assault on conservative journalists. I have the video that I had it the other day. And I didn't have time to play it. Plus, it's kind of gross. But we'll play it. Jen Psaki is under fire after a conservative reporter was assaulted at an anti-ICE protest in Minneapolis. And critics say the former White House press secretary turned embassy host hasn't condemned the attack. They probably helped plan them. Helped plan the attacks. So there you saw Susan Rice and Jen Psaki, all these people who are supposed to be helping a new duly elected president. They didn't want to help him. They wanted to destroy him. They wanted to destroy him. But do you see who the WhistleLiar is? Where for years I could have my channel taken down for mentioning his name. I could get a strike for even using the word whistle and then blower. But now it's declassified and it's formally, publicly being referred for criminal charges. Can you all see him? I'll show you who he is. Remember this face. You may see it in Gitmo. There he is. Right there in the middle. You see him looking off. He can't make eye contact with the camera. Hiding back there. Remember that nerdy face. But all these angry people were participating in the democratic process, going to help our new president be a success and help him achieve his vision for the American people that the American people voted for. No, that's not at all what they want. They wanted to destroy him. They wanted to put him in jail. They wanted to falsely accuse him of the very thing they're doing, treason. Every damn single one of those people, don't forget this picture. Or this picture. I've shown it before. It was knocked out when my files got corrupted, but I went back and found them again. Look at them. All waiting for the new president, excited about our nation's future. Look at that one in the background crying. These are the people that want to run your lives, have been running your lives. Just, it's a harsh reminder. But anyway, Russiagate author, one of the sources, was a so-called author of the 2017 Russia hoax, ICA, who was also a close colleague of the discredited former FBI agent Peter Strzok. The lovers, Strzok and Page. False narrative to impeach. The intelligence community inspector general exceeded his statutory authority. Who was the inspector general for the intelligence community? He exceeded his statutory authority and ignored DOJ guidance to transmit the faulty complaint to Congress, which House Democrats peddled to drive a sham impeachment. Okay, well, we got the cards on the table. Okay. Time to ante up. Let's see what happens. So, anyway. All that vitriol they incite. People believing that. Some of them just trust these so-called news people. And then when other things happen, they react with anger and vitriol. It's called inciting public hostility. But here's a meme that Trump put up. And I said during his first term, at the time, I said, you're blaming him for all of America's problems. He's only been in office 36 months. Okay, now we're talking 60 months. 5 years in office. Look at Bernie. Look at Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden. 40 years, 52 years, 50 years in office. Use your heads a little bit if you want to blame somebody for the problems. And every damn one of them had to know there was massive, massive fraud going on at all levels of our government. And sticking their beaks in there for their own preservation. Here you go. This is a good one. This is a good one for your meta page. When you send gays, junkies, and asocials to gulags, but 70 years later, those same groups advocate for Stalinism. They don't even know, they think it's democracy. Democracy! So this hatred that they inculcate into society, this incitement of public hostility goes international. This guy's complaining about $4 per liter. I told you all back in the 90s, it was $5 a liter in Germany back when money was money. How much was it under the Biden administration? How much was oil a barrel under the Biden administration? Nobody batted a damn eye. Plus, he was draining the strategic petroleum reserve to keep it low. But it was still high. But nobody said a damn thing. Nobody said a damn thing about eggs costing $12 a dozen until Trump walked in the Oval Office. And then they started complaining. But listen to this lunatic. We need to find out who he is and make sure he never sets foot in this country. But he's over there, I understand, in the UK. I could be wrong. Tell me what you all think about from his accent. But he's from a country in Europe where they put people in jail for making memes that hurt people's feelings or posting videos that hurt people's feelings. Do you think they'll put this guy in jail?
I don't want to hear anything from any fucking American being like, we're trying here, we're trying. You have access to fucking guns. At this fucking point, just give me the fucking gun. Hand it to me. Give it to me. Let me go fucking full white boy at the White House.
What is it with it? I will. W-I-W, will. But anyway, it's will, L-L, okay? But anyway, that is one of the reasons why being charged with inciting public hostility and at the Nuremberg trials was such a serious charge. Because people get hurt, that's why. And unfairly labeled, and their family members get hurt. And people lose their minds. America will pay. Trump is a war criminal. America is evil. Death to America. Iran people are really angry now. No, those are Democrats. They're out of their damn minds. Here is a picture. I had in the UK and in New York City, people were running around with banners trying to protect the mullahs from Trump. What is wrong with these old battle axes, these old liberal battle axes? The Guardian. More than 500 people arrested at Palestine Action protests in London. The Palestinian cause is the same cause the mullahs have, okay? To get rid of infidels and to wipe out any non-believers, not just from the river to the sea, off the face of the damn earth. Even at her age, not having her hair covered would be enough for her to get her head lopped off. And I mean lopped off. Or buried up to your waist and they throw rocks at you till you quit moving. Is that's who you're sticking up for? I found it interesting. I don't understand with these women. I really don't. Liberal women, not our wonderful conservative women. But here's a blast from the past. How many of you all remember Bradley Manning, who now goes by Chelsea Manning, arrested outside of office of Senator Chuck Schumer during stop war on Iran protests. Now, this person was helping out WikiLeaks, right? But also the Army paid, or whatever branch of service this person was in, paid for their S3 exchange. Do you remember that? This person has cut off the branch and berries, or however they, twig and berries, however they say it. And, I mean, it's all in. And they had multiple times where they attempted to end it all for themselves, if you know what I mean. There's that person walking here. But look at these fevered individuals screaming and yelling. And I hear all the noise, and I think, man, that's a lot of people that have lost their minds. But if you listen to it, it's a lot of New Yorkers clapping. I believe it's in New York, clapping because these people are getting arrested. It isn't all their supporters.
Guys, back up. Out of the way.
What would you say to someone who's nervous about getting
End the killing! Fight like hell for the living! Stop the bomb! End the killing! Fight like hell for the living! Fight like hell! Stop the bomb! End the killing! Fight like hell for the living! Excuse me. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
They can't even get their chants right. Nobody's chanting along with them. They get the rhythm off. Free Palestine. And one of them, you'll see it in a minute. She's not too bad, but those cops better get a back brace on. But anyway, they can't even get their chants right. And most of the crowd is cheering that they're getting drug off the damn streets. Who made those shirts for them?
Palestine! Free Palestine! Stop the bombs! And the killing! Under arrest right now! Not cooperating. Do not normalize bombs! Do not normalize this!
Did you see that old hippie woman? Did you see the old hippie woman getting picked up? When do you think the last time a man put their hands on her? I think that might have something to do with it. They want to get lugged off, to carried around. Oh yeah, put your hands under my arms. Oh, better get a better hold of me. Better wrap your arms around me. But anyway, free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
We're gonna put her in first.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Stop the bombs and the killing! Fight like hell for the living! Stop the bombs and the killing! Fight like hell for the living! The bombs! Hands up, Palestine! Stop the bomb!
Can you put your hand across?
There's a guy. What are we going to do with this guy? That is a former guy that is now named Chelsea and used to be named Bradley. Do you think that y'all listen to what this person says?
You will be placed under arrest on the charge of
disorderly conduct. But that's Mom Dami's territory. You know, he's opening up his grocery stores. I could have uploaded some videos of him. Oh boy, is that going to be a circus or what? Everybody thinking, oh, they're going to get free groceries. Can you? Oh man. But anyway, here's Rubio. Did you all remember this woman? They called her, I believe this is the one they called Screaming Mary. I mean, she's been in this country for a long time, and she used to go out there and scream and yell. She's out of here. Okay. Rubio revokes legal status from relatives of notorious Iranian regime figure. Took away the lawful permanent resident of 3 Iranian nationals connected to Masuma Ebtekar, a former Iranian propagandist. She used to make speeches and stuff, wanting to tear down the country. And Obama, Biden, oh yeah, fine, here, be a permanent resident. Come over here and raise hell. Ha ha ha, Sparky. I'm glad, old hippie ladies, hoping some young police officer will grab them and hug them tight. Hi, Judy, how you doing? Yes, they've gone crazy. They've gone crazy. Barracuda, yeah, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I'm going to just call you Doc, Dr. Trump. Thank you, Judy. I appreciate that. But anyway, hey, yeah, Roland, I wouldn't want to do that to you, but you're not that far away from New York. You know, well, yeah, you are if you're in Alberta. But anyway, lonely women up there, if you can get their minds right, and if they can cook, they might be worth trying to pull their brain out of the nightmare. Oh, didn't I tell y'all? Didn't I say it? Last time, my last broadcast about Keir Starmer. Didn't I say this? What did I say? Keir Starmer is accused of Brexit betrayal over Labour plans to sign Britain up for future EU rules without members of Parliament getting a vote. What's your reaction? Didn't I say he was going to betray Brexit? Didn't I say they're thinning out the population and replacing the voters so they could undo Brexit and get the UK back into the EU hook or crook? And there, the next, or 2 days later, they're putting forth their evil plans. But anyway, here's what was mentioned earlier in the chats, where they're trying to legislate, in my opinion, obstruction of justice. Okay? Intimidation. California Democrats advanced the Stop Nick Shirley Act to criminalize investigative journalism. At what point are they the criminals? Nick Shirley put this up. California is trying to pass a bill that would criminalize investigative journalism with misdemeanors, $10,000 fine, $10,000 fines, and taking down content. Well, we've been through the content takedowns, or at least I have, and many of you that have been with me for a long time. The proposed bill, I don't even cuss that much. The proposed bill is titled AB 2624 and was made after I exposed mass fraud by immigrant groups in America. Under AB 2624, government-funded entities like the Somali leering daycare centers would be protected from being exposed if they operated outside California. Yeah, people like Newsom, people like Swalwell of the Democrat Party. We're going so far as to say that Nick Shirley was somehow a pre-vertio because he was going to daycare centers, like his purpose was to disturb children. They had the damn nerve to come up with that. The enemy is truly within. Speaking of the damn nerve, I'm going to get to another thing in a minute. When our politicians would rather protect fraudsters and illegal migrants, it's time for us to stand up or face mass oppression from the traitors who rule over us. Looks like it's time for me to go back to California. What do you say? Hi, Scott. How you doing? To help support our work, become a member of the Anti-Fraud Club. It's free. And hoodies and tees are on the website. There you go, folks. There's, if you want to help him out. He's a young guy finding his way and doing a good job, too. I tell you, every now and then you see a bright spot, right? You see a bright spot. This person posted this. Aaron for parental rights. 5 years ago, my little girl was secretly being groomed, right? I got to be careful how I say that. Why can't I say that? So please don't put it in the chats unless you misspell it. And transitioned at her public school. Can you believe that? My father would have put somebody in a wheelchair. They'd have been picking up their teeth with a broken arm. And I'm not kidding. 4 years ago, she was still lost in a dark cloud. You know what a sidle. Well, Barracuda, screw tube, that's where I got. That's the only play. I got one viewer that probably is me on Kick, and I'll be lucky to have, my diehard friends on Rumble. Hello, I haven't forgot about you. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. So Utizzle's it. That's it. It's the big deal, right? So anyway, she was what a sidle, identifying as a boy named Toby. Oh my God. Last night she went to her first prom with her boyfriend, glowing with confidence and grace. There you go. You're going to have grandkids, praise the Lord. There she is. It's your first night out as a grown-up, right? I went to I won't get that. I was in a Buick Electra, full-size, four-door. Borrowed it off my dad. But anyway, last night, she went, okay, I read that. Thank you, Jesus, for saving her. What the enemy meant for evil, God is turning into good. I went to 4 proms. If you're a parent fighting for your child right now, and it feels hopeless, please hold on. There is light on the other side. I won't stop fighting for your horror story too, to have a happy ending too. Isn't that great? But you know what? If that parent hadn't stuck with them and hadn't intervened, what kind of a hellscape this human being would have been introduced to? That's why we need to have criminal prosecutions for lewd and lascivious conversations with children concerning genitalia or their bedroom desires. That should be criminalized. It is criminalized in my book, okay? That's it, and that's all. So anyway, yeah, 0 immigration. We don't need it. We don't need it. We got plenty. We're full, okay? We are full. Probably a 20-year moratorium. It's going to take us that long to get a lot of people out of here. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if it picks up pace. But anyway, speaking of that, here's the false and then flag I was telling you all about. Kidnapping case. Whoa, wait a second. I was going to put this on my something related to this on my thumbnail. ISIS could face charges in Minnesota. What was I saying earlier in the broadcast? About Tim Walsh doing a false and then flag, right? That's another term I got to break up. I can't use it straight. Because they know they're coming. The false and then the other word is flags. That's an operation like J and then 6. Designed to get you to look somewhere else. Talk about something else. Other than the crime that is afoot. So anyway, they could face kidnapping charges. This would be enough, I believe, for Trump, if they did that, to declare an insurrection. He doesn't have to do it nationwide. He can do it county by county, town by town, state by state, or 2/3 of a state, or half, or whatever, for certain territories or areas, or what is under the control of certain public officials who are insurrecting against the lawful function of the federal government. So, what's this story about? Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. This old dude. Now, the comments were just loaded with do-gooder liberals, right? Here's the picture they have. He's walking out in the snow, barefooted, with a blanket over his shoulders. Minnesota County investigates federal agents' removal of a U.S. citizen from his home as a possible kidnapping. Then one of them put in there in the comments, well, at least we see their faces. We know who they are. These criminals kidnapping Americans. A Minnesota County is investigating removal of the U.S. citizen in January by federal immigration agents as a possible kidnapping. Do you think there's a possibility that this person was, his home was suspected of having people residing there that didn't belong in this country, and that he didn't cooperate by giving ID or a verbal date of birth, social security number, because they can find everything out right there. And if he's a naturalized citizen, somebody who came to this country and was granted citizenship, and if he was impeding an investigation by refusing to comply, he should be stripped of his citizenship and shipped the hell back to wherever the hell he's from. And that can be done. That can be done. Now, I don't know if he's born here or what he is, but if you had to guess, do you think these ICE agents just came in and got an American citizen with no probable cause, no investigation going on, and this guy cooperated and told everything, and they still kidnapped him from his home? Do you think that is a viable story? Let's see what kind of judges we get involved in this garbage. But all the comments that I read under this post were calling the ICE agents criminals. This post is CNN participating with the lawfare and any attorneys that were involved in encouraging, guiding people to evade capture, okay, that don't belong here, resist the police, obstruct investigations. Those attorneys should be stripped of their law licenses. Okay? Because no, if you're here illegally, you don't have the right to impede investigations. You don't have the right to stay silent till you get an attorney. Unless you're willing to get hauled off to jail where they'll fingerprint you and identify you. Let's see what this is. Here's another commie network, news network. Trump's post depicting him as Jesus amid friction with Pope over Iran. He didn't depict himself as Jesus. I'll show it to you. President Trump says he thought a now deleted social media post, well, I wouldn't have deleted it, I'd have left it up, depicting him as Christ-like, was me as a doctor. It comes after his criticism of Pope Leo. Now, I talked about Pope Leo. I talked about other popes. Conversations I had with my father. The things the Pope says, he says as a man, as a human being walking the face of the earth. It's not in an encyclical. It's not in a codified, blessed writings by the church. And he's against the war. He's the Pope of the Catholic Church. What do you think he's supposed to do before war? So Trump said he thought he was weak and said some things about it. He has every right to disagree and have a back and forth with anyone. But they frame this as if Trump threatened him. Pope Leo the 19th says, or 14th says, he has no fear of Trump's White House. Why would you be afraid? He's in Algeria. Remember I told you all about how my phone got filled up with a bunch of videos of Bolsonaro's head in a net and getting used for a soccer ball, and that there were pictures in there of people who had detonated a you-know-what-aside bomb. I couldn't believe it. They were so, I had to just erase them because there's no way I could show them on YouTube or Rumble. Well, somebody did that to themselves in Algeria, blew themselves up. And I'll show the report to you, not the video. But anyway, I find it very weird. But anyway, I have no fear of the Trump administration or speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel. That's what I believe in. I am called to do what the church is called to do. Pope Leo said. Well, Trump, nobody's threatening the Pope. Trump did not blaspheme. As a matter of fact, Adam Francisco, I've talked about him. He's the kid that got a kidney and does some videos with Caitlin Bennett. He put this up. He asked Grok, was it blasphemous what Trump put up? No, it's not blasphemy. It's a classic political hyperbole in artwork. And that's what I said at the beginning, is fan art that Trump reposted. Fan art. And it shows, well, I'll get to it in a minute. Trump depicted as a healer, savior figure for America. That's exactly what I said before I ever heard this from Grok. That he was ministering to America. Because he said before, America was very sick. A country that was in distress and needed healing. Complete with symbolic American imagery. Blasphemy requires direct irreverence toward God or holy things, not stylized fan art of a leader, the exact words I used. Subjective takes vary by faith and politics, but this is more meme than sacrilege. I agree. I agree with, I'm not a great fan of, AI. But here's what he put up. Where is it? And it's exactly what I see. And here it is. He took it down, but it's going all over the place anyway. It doesn't matter if he took it down. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't have taken it down. But I talked about, there it is, Donald Trump, and there you see the American flag. You see nurses, you see farmers, you see the military, you see the American flag, you see a young girl praying behind the person, and somebody said he was raising the dead, which is how they get that. Do you see a sick person in bed? And Trump laying healing hands. So you have hypocrites. Like I said, I'll tell you about nerve. Somebody's got a lot of nerve. The liberals got more nerve than a bum tooth. They're going to tell me what's blasphemous when they push for what they push for children, when they push for what they push for movies and educational, so-called educational things, when they push for ending human life before they ever take a breath, they're going to tell me what's against God's law? They're going to take offense at this with the disgusting way they live their lives? And that's what I put in some of the comments. So, yeah, I don't take offense at this at all. Is Trump wearing a beard? Is Trump holding up a basket full of bread and fish? Or is he raising Lazarus? No. He's healing a nation. And if you read the Bible, God picks leaders, okay, to do his work. For good or ill, whatever God's design is, thy will be done. His will be done. So, yeah, Trump had every right to put this up, especially if a fan sent it to him and took the time to make this thing. You see the Statue of Liberty in the background. It's everything America-centric. And he's healing yes, Miss Mindersu, he's healing the world, but he's starting with our country, which was very sick. So he also put this up. Here you go. I guess this is the moon, right? Mars would be the red planet. But I guess it's because of Artemis coming back. But anyway, so he did this the same time he put the other one up. Some of it's tongue-in-cheek. These things are meant to get a reaction. I mean, what do you want them to put up? A picture of a leaf? So anyway, let's see what else we have here. Oh, here's Trump. I guess this is with Kai Trump, but somebody posted this to show that his security has, if you look, it's a quick video, has got an anti-drone rifle there, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's Kai. You saw that big cannon. You saw that big cannon he had. They got different ones. I talked about it the other night. I said they're like giant shotguns. They'll blam out about 200 projectiles to make sure you hit it somewhere and take it down. But anyway, so Trump. Let me see. I haven't got any of the Ruski posts. But anyway, they were hollering, "Oh, it's gonna be a big conflagration. It's gonna be war. It's gonna be this bullets flying. Well, it's awful damn quiet, isn't it?" Well, here I need to do a video about Midas Trash Network. But I mean, for me to sit and do a video, it would take, I would have to be like creators that post twice a week or 3 times a week. I try to go over stuff, 5 nights a week. Keep up with the news, right, folks? Because things are moving so fast. But Midas Trash. Who is this person? Kyle Frey. Tehran flexes an image of the bad Iran missile. Look, you all, take a look at this. Why would he post Iranian propaganda, menacing propaganda? But this is AI. I would bet dollars to donuts. I've seen these videos. And they're AI. They're not real. You're not looking at a real missile that's 5 times taller than people standing there. And they're gibberish scribbled out at the bottom for propaganda. But this is what Midas Trash Network's all about. Subverting and undermining the President of the United States, hurling slander, hurling libel, clothing themselves in legalese, okay? And from day one, subverting the President of the United States and participating in this illegal lawfare, illegal psychological warfare campaigns. But you can't, I can't say anything to them because I'm blocked. And it's like James Madison said, trying to talk sense to an idiot is like trying to give medicine to the dead. Okay? Like a guy laying there, oh, here, have some NyQuil. No, he's gone. Just forget it. So, anyway, something hit me. Trump was, when he was talking to the press, and he was talking about this meme, he said, I saw myself as being a doctor. And he brought up the Red Cross. He said, kind of like the Red Cross, doing good, helping people. And I saw Nick Sortor. I didn't get a copy of the post, but he put up, don't say good things about Red Cross. Red Cross is evil. Red Cross hurts people, blah, blah, blah. Then I remembered when Trump was talking about the green cash, right? They put it on planes, and they didn't even tell Congress. How did they get away with that? So all you got to do is put Red Cross in the search bar on the CUE site, right? I believe Trump made reference to that because we know the Vatican has been involved with taking funds and doing things that are not in our best interests. And we know that the Red Cross and USAID have been stealing our money and putting it towards illegal things that damage our country. I believe Trump is hinting that this is how they got that green cash to Iran in the billions of dollars. What do you think this is? And see if you can make out the writing on the top of the boxes. Boxes and boxes and boxes of green cash. ICRC. Some of it looked Arabic, the writing. But the video's there for you to peruse. I can expand it so you can, you can expand it all or take screenshots. So what do you think, folks? Why would Trump affiliate the Red Cross with that picture that people are jumping on him about. Right in the middle of the shutdown of the Gulf, of the Strait of Hormuz. It's not a shutdown. It's like trying to argue with these fools. There's a difference between blockading and controlling. Iran was trying to control the strait through fear, intimidation, extortion, threats like usual, criminal regime, and Trump's taking control from them. The only thing, he's not blockading the strait, he's blockading Iran. Iranian ports. The strait is open. Thank you very much. Because they were saying, oh, Trump was telling Iran to open up Hormuz. Now he's saying close Hormuz. See how stupid people are when they let hatred blind them? He opened the strait and he blockaded Iran. Use your head. But what's this going on here? There is a continuous stream of C-17 military transport aircraft heading to American and Israeli bases in the region to replenish ammunition supplies. One of the latest American air bases where transport aircraft landed is located in Saudi Arabia. And Iran can't screw with Saudi Arabia. Pakistan already told them. And Pakistan's a nuclear power. We'll thump you. We will thump you. Look who reared their ugly head. Couldn't believe it. Former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry stated that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu showed presentations about the threat from Iran to 4 presidents, Bush, Obama, Biden, and Trump. He persuaded each of them to strike Iran, but the previous 3 refused. John Kerry. Just keep that in the back of your mind. What his game is now. Because we're going to see from John Kerry. The Iranian embassy in Thailand stated that Trump's idea of imposing a blockade on Iran is so stupid that they didn't even come up with a meme about it. Is that how you handle things with memes? This serious? Your entire regime is about to get overthrown. You have nothing. Billions of dollars worth of infrastructure damaged. And you're worried about a meme? Blockade of Iran equals a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz equals a blockade of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait equals oil at over $200 a barrel. Your rear end, Abdul or whatever your name is. Trump has got a fleet of tankers heading to America, and there's going to be more and more and more. On top of it, I've said it before, we could drown Europe in oil, especially with Venezuela. Now as a partner. Macron. France and the United Kingdom will soon organize a conference to restore freedom of navigation in Hormuz. How long are you all going to have conferences? 24 months? 12 months? 8 months? You weren't there when we needed you, when we barely needed you. Now we don't need you at all. So it's between A and B. See your way out of it. Here's the Russians. Here's the kind of garbage they're putting up. Now, they don't know the whole thing. These journalists, they're just doing their job. They're going to be Russian-centric, so I'm not going to... And they do good reporting, but this is their opinion. 2 newly acquired Russian Mi-28 helicopters, that's what I just had on the screen, delivered to Iran shortly before the war, are seen operating over Tehran. So they got 2 helicopters going over Tehran. So they underline, contrary to U.S. claims, they were destroyed. They were not. Well, we'll see about it. They taking pot shots at us. We'll see about it. Because we can send aircraft anywhere we want over that country. So that, it's a pride thing. Let them do it. No big deal. Trump admitted that they did not destroy the Iranian core naval power. This is risky media, Trump's recent tweet referred to those small speedboats, saying they were not destroyed. Previously mentioned these boats are well protected inside tunnels, so the U.S. cannot easily destroy them. Furthermore, Iran's naval force is truly composed of these small boats, which carry anti-ship missiles. Bring them out and find out what happens. If that's a modern military, something about 2 clicks above a Somali pirate, they hadn't got a navy. But bring them out. Let's see what happens. But like Trump said, it's all quiet. And Sunday, before the blockade started, it started at 10 o'clock this morning. Trump said 34 ships transited Hormuz on Sunday. It's going to go from a trickle to a big flow. Iran is going to be defanged. They already are, but it's going to be displayed before the world that they're impotent. Here we go again. Russian news. U.S. naval blockade against Iran is a war against China. Well, China's always been in economic war with us. Screwing us over, manipulating the currency, shipping junk over here, garbage, crappy steel, defective drywall, poisoned animal food, lead in toys, steel or technology. They've been doing it for half a century. So yeah, they're going to have to deal with Donald J. Trump. He's doing business. Look at this map of the global energy route to China. First, they worked in Venezuela and stopped energy and export from Venezuela to China. They can get stuff from Venezuela, but they got to pay. Now they want to block energy exports to China through the Strait of Hormuz naval blockade. Wait a minute. You guys forgot something. He also kicked their rear ends out of Panama and opened up the Panama Canal again. From their overcharging and ripping off our Navy to move naval vessels and allowing the Chinese to manage the Panama Canal. Remember that? He kicked their rear ends out of there, too. So, yeah, Venezuela, the Panama Canal, and now we're working on the Strait of Hormuz. And don't forget the North Sea route with Greenland. That's coming, too. Okay? The U.S. war is against the multipolar world. They want to isolate Russia, China, and Iran. No, we don't. We just don't want you all getting a stranglehold on stuff. And we don't want you screwing around our hemisphere. The naval blockade over the Strait of Hormuz pushes the situation toward a very scary escalation, causing China to send very strong military aid to Iran that has the ability to break this U.S. blockade. Well, good luck. Because you know what Trump is saying to China and Russia? He said it to everybody. The military equipment that China pawned off on Venezuela and they pawned off on Iran wasn't worth a fiddler's fart, okay? And unless you got something better in your back pocket, it ain't going to help you either. Our technology crushed whatever you pawned off on the Iranians and the Venezuelans and whoever else you've been selling your junk to. And they leave out in this diagram Greenland and North Sea routes, the Arctic route, that kind of stuff. That's coming too. That's coming too. And whoever the U.S. Navy wants to stop, they'll board them. They'll board them. And they better not resist, or they'll get discombobulated, or they'll have a vessel out there without a rudder or an engine, and they'll get towed to wherever they need to go. Remember the discombobulator? Anyway, let's see what this one says. If I can get it to expand. Iran, ambassador to India. We have good communication with the Indian government regarding the passage of Indian ships, and we want to help India. Iran has oil and is ready to sell it to any country that wants it. What did I say the other night? I said Iran is going to learn that this is a business. This is commercial activity. This is commerce. And you can't treat customers like garbage if they can get it somewhere else safer, cheaper, higher quality, and people that sell to them that respect them as human beings. Up until now, they have been taking people's money, overcharging them, threatening them, slapping them in the face, and making billions of dollars. And then threatening and slapping in the face other people, other nations all around the world. Well, guess what? You ain't the only game in town anymore. Customers are always right. You better sharpen your pencil and learn how to live like a civilized nation. Netanyahu's against the backdrops of preparations for Independence Day. The ceasefire in Iran can reverse very quickly. That's more of their talk where they're saying things were, according to them, the posts that they had been putting up the night of my last broadcast into the early morning was expecting bombs to be dropping any minute. And it never happened. It hadn't happened yet, not to say that it won't. But Trump is getting ready. You just saw the map of all the hardware that's heading their way. Now you see the USS Boxer, a Wasp-class amphibious assault ship of the U.S. Navy, is currently operating in the Western Pacific near Guam, en route to Western Asia as part of Operation Epic Fury. The ship departed San Diego in mid-March carrying approximately 2,500 personnel from the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. As a Wasp-class LHD, Boxer provides a full spectrum of expeditionary capabilities, supporting the F-35B, multi-role fighters, MV-22 Ospreys, rotary wing aviation, landing craft, and embarked Marine forces for amphibious and ground operations. Arrival in CENTCOM waters is expected in late April, likely between April 23rd and 28th, where it will reinforce U.S. expeditionary posture alongside the already deployed USS Tripoli. So we're going to have 5,000 Marines fully equipped, along with another 4,000 troops, at least. That's what we know of. So, who's going to take pot shots at us? Because, just like General Keane said, Trump can take Carg Island or he can blow it up. If they want to get nasty, we'll show them nasty. It's just like I said, you want to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, we'll show you how to shut it down. Isn't that what I said about a week ago? Best defense is good offense. America has only 16 warships in the region and no warships in Iran's territorial waters, which makes up most of Iran's waterways. This is an opinion. This indicates that the ability to blockade Iran's ports with such a small numbers of ships is very weak. What are you thinking? That we're going to go to every port along the coast of Iran? No, we're just going to wait right outside the strait, and when they come chugging through, putting through, or whatever they're doing, we're going to check it out. And you better be walking the chalk, and you better be complying with whatever blockade rules Donald Trump lays out, or we'll take the ship. We don't need to go to their ports. But this is some dopey report. I wish I'd have got which news service it's from. We're not going to go up and down their coast. And these are the people that want to run the country. Take care of our defense, so to speak. Here's some more inciting vitriol. Inciting public hostility right here. ABC News. You should have seen the comments in this one. First, there was kidnapping by ICE of U.S. citizens. Now, it says Mexican migrant is the 47th person to die in ICE custody during second Trump administration. Well, guess what, you morons? All the ones in the comments saying, oh, they're putting them in gulags. They're starving them to death. They are war criminals. Guess what, you idiots? Out of 500,000 people going through these camps to get sent back home lawfully, people die. That's right. That's right. Do the math. 500,000 people, you got 47. I put in the comments just like a old mafioso guy one time. One of his rivals got shot. And he said, the reporter came up, and he's a suspected, assassin, So the reporter comes up to him and said, did you hear about Bugsy, what's-his-face, got it the other night? He's dead. And the mafia guy said, dead? I didn't even know he's sick. So that's what I put in the comments. I didn't know he was sick, much less dead. So, yeah. But these loose-brained liberals, they have been trained to think that Donald Trump is illegitimate. He's a Russian agent. All this psyop that they started, the damage that it's done to families, to the fabric of our nation. That's why these people have to be prosecuted. Impeachment bombshell. Secret memos expose Ukraine accusers' bias, hearsay, and false claim. That's just a start. Hi, Johnson from Kick. I don't have a Discord. I don't know. I'll see if I can message you on Kick. I don't know how to do that. I'm an old man. I'm not down with all this fancy stuff. But anyway, I appreciate you checking out my videos. So anyway, I have got more stuff. But let me go ahead and play this clip. This could become a habit. This fleet of
vessels that are coming to America to fuel up. They just might decide that it's a lot better situation than dealing with a bunch of lunatic mullahs.
A ship tracking firm reports 121 empty oil tankers are making their way to the United States of America. 68 of those 121 vessels are very large crude carriers capable of carrying 2 million barrels apiece. President Trump has urged countries squeezed by Iran's disruption of the Strait of Hormuz to turn to American energy supplies instead. Well, it would appear perhaps they are obliging him. They are listening to Trump. The president told Fox, quote, China can send their ships to the U.S., China can send their ships to Venezuela, while also saying that empty oil-carrying ships from many nations are all headed to the U.S. to load up. That from the president of the United States.
With light, sweet crude. Some really good stuff, man. We got the good stuff, man. So, Trump's going to be oil magnate. What is this one? Yeah, I think this is another report on the... whoa, where'd my chats go? Wait a minute. Let me see. This is something else about the tankers coming through. I got to find out what happened to my chats. There. But anyway, let me see.
Right now, there are reports, but it's all kind of rumors, indications, and warnings that there might be about a dozen or so moored mines, right? There's many different types of mines out there. Moored mines are ones that are suspended by a cable that's resting on an anchor on the seabed floor that's floating at or usually just below the waterline. They can be contact mines, which is where basically the ship runs into one of the horns, like the traditional horns you see on, what you think of a mine would look like. But they also could be influence mines, and that is when a ship cruises right above it and it has a metal detector, a magnetometer that detects something metal that's very close to it, and then it detonates. So, and also on top of that, influence mines can be very sophisticated, where they can put a ship counter on that, where basically it'll wait until 5, 6, 7, a dozen or more ships go past it before it would detonate, which is why sweeping is something that is good and is helpful, but what's best is hunting. We always say, hunt if you can, sweep if you must. And in order to hunt for those mines, we've got some of the most sophisticated unmanned underwater vehicle technology that's led by EOD Mobile Unit 6. Many of my Navy EOD brothers and former teammates are there. They are the same unit that actually cleared mines from the Persian Gulf nearly 40 years ago during the tanker wars. And what they're using are, it looks like an underwater torpedo that cruises around, uses side scan sonar to find the mines. We've got some excellent technology, and there's even better technology that's on the way. There's companies like Ulysses that is already ready to deploy mass-produced, inexpensive mine hunting drones that can be deployed en masse to find all of these mines. We think there might only be a dozen or more, but we're going to find out here pretty soon. It's going to take a few days, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I want to talk about those mines, the magnetometer ones. They're insidious. I mean, they're a bit harder to find, quite a bit harder to find. But anyway, they'll find them. Yeah, I agree, Kim. Yeah, they can't. It is international water. They're the ones breaking international law. That's right. America's back in business. Ha, ha, ha. So, let's see. Trump posted a couple of videos. Let's see. This is the one he posted first. Who's this guy? Guy on Newsmax. What in the world? Trump posted this yesterday morning, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. Let's see what he's got to say.
For decades, the U.S. has funded around 65% of NATO's bills, and we bailed them out during myriad military conflict. But when we started Operation Epic Fury, our allies dropped us like a bad date, and the president is not happy about it.
Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, but we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want...
Just say it. NATO sucks.
...to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us?
No, who else didn't help us?
South Korea didn't help us.
Oh, nice. Way to go, South Korea.
You know who else didn't help us? Australia.
Oh, yeah, Australia. Thanks a lot.
Didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea.
Well, I would have expected just a little more from Japan.
So Trump is telling the world, not only at the podium, but then he's reposting these videos to let them know. I meant what I said what I meant. The world's changing. And he's got this other clip here I'm going to play. That's right, Miss Mindersu, we're done being the world's daycare. Well, we're like I said, we're powdering their rear ends. That's what we've been doing. And they've been taking advantage of us for generations. Generations. I want my damn money back. And my poor parents went through so much. But anyway, folks, I'm going to play this second clip that Trump put up. His message to the whole world. And now we know the course that we're on, okay? America's breaking free of its chains from the old principalities and the old ways of doing, quote, business. So anyway, folks, I put a link at the end of the chat stream for Buy Me a Coffee. Anybody who wants to help support the channel, it's greatly appreciated. I'm going to put up some booms for everybody that's helped me out. Miss Mindersu put a bunch of coffees and booms in. Where's my magic button? Here we go. Kapow! Boom! So anyway, this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I appreciate any support that you deign to give me for my efforts. So anyway, folks, what do I always say? I always say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I hope you enjoy this video from Donald J. Trump. I'll play it now. And if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live, right? So why don't you go ahead and do that if you hadn't done it. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
It's been an amazing week in America. We saw the dark side of the moon. We rescued 2 American fighter pilots from Iran, and we kicked the bejesus out of the IRCG. Here's the president bragging about the rescue operation at this year's White House Easter egg roll.
And what about the rescue that took place yesterday?
And that is some mighty fine camera work there, C-SPAN.
It's something that you rarely see.
I mean, I don't really blame you for focusing on her, because, you know, wow.
They were giving me a briefing about that, and they said normally when you're in very hostile territory,
I saw her documentary.
People, and there were others like that. You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong.
Yeah, I'm thinking the cameraman has a little obsession there. Speaking of eggs, at the end of the Biden administration, eggs cost 80% more than they do now. Remember those days? This year, eggs are so cheap, Democrats can resume throwing them at Tesla dealerships.
I came out and I expected we were going to be talking about farmers, and we love our farmers. We were going to talk about so many different products, but you know what they want to talk about? Sir, this is about eggs. Eggs.
Isn't that the same buddy that led Joe Biden around the White House lawn a couple of years ago?
Because we have the egg farmers of the entire country here, and they are unbelievable. And if you
we are the only country in the world that the president stands next to somebody in a bunny costume.
Remember when I first got elected, my first news conference with the fake news, a lot of fake news here today, but I had a news conference, and The first question, what are you going to do about eggs, sir? I said, what's wrong with eggs? I just got there. It's my second day in office at a news conference. And they were screaming at me, what am I going to do about eggs? And I said, well, it's like,
Meanwhile, happy Easter, kids.
What's wrong with eggs? The price was so high. It was 4 times higher than it was a year before.